Now, tell me one project that you think will not go to zero within cryptocurrency. Once we get to that point, I think this area, this asset class will have evolved into something else and there will be wide mass adoption. But until then, we still need to take precautions and do our own research. My point of view is Karura should be punching very close to Moon River, which is another project that launched at the same time. It's also based on Kusama. Karura, we think it's underperforming at this point in time, but it's got a lot of potential. So Karura is a blue chip in the making as far as we're concerned. And it's, for us, it's something that we will readily say, okay, it could go to zero, but so could Bitcoin, so could Ethereum, so could Moon River, and so forth. So the risk here is real, but it's also relative. And if things start going on for Karura in the next 2 or 3 quarters, we could actually see Karura skyrocket to levels it's never been to. And it is expected because Karura has got a decent team behind it, very helpful team. We think Karura has got a lot of potential. There's a long way to go. And at these levels that we're talking about, $1 something, as far as I'm concerned, this is accumulation time. This is the accumulation zone for Karura. I'm adding to my Karura bags and I've got my own targets that I want to achieve. Crypto is personal. You make personal decisions as well as setting out, personal goals. Take what you may from what I'm sharing with you today, make your own decisions and do your own research. Okay, guys, there you have it. Karura could go to zero, but so could most other blue chip projects. As far as you are concerned here at Sage5.tv, it's a go. Karura is ripe for investing in, and we are doing exactly that. Hi guys, this is FD for Sage5.tv. Thank you very much for joining us. We are looking at another project on the Kusama network. Kusama, sister project to Polkadot. The project we're looking at today is Karura, Karura. But guys, before I go any further, please note that I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not qualified to give you financial advice. Anything I'm sharing with you here today is just for information purposes as well as educational. Please do your own research when you're jumping into some of these projects or investing in them, and always take what you hear from a YouTuber with a pinch of salt. About myself, I've been within the crypto space for around 2 years now. My background is from medical technology space. I do hold a couple of roles within the medical technology space. The objective or the aims of this channel is to share some information and knowledge based on my own experiences, my winnings as well as my losses, being transparent. That's what we're aiming to do. I can promise you one thing, we are not going to be talking about going to the moon or rocket ships. We are going to give you information that can actually enhance your own learning, your own path into crypto investing. If you're new to crypto or you've been within the crypto space for some time and you are still struggling to work out how to navigate this space, you're not alone. Even those with so many years experience, they cannot tell you when the market is going to dip or which coin is going to pump next. Granted, they can read certain signals from the data available to them as well as reading the market, but they don't hold a magic wand. So coming back to the project we're going to look at today, we're going to look at Karura and we are going to apply our usual 13 elements that we use to do DYOR, risk evaluation, using the risk evaluation toolkit that I developed for the past several months. In certain areas, it's being very helpful. Like anything within the crypto space, it always needs some tweaking here and there. When you do choose to adopt this DYOR, the risk evaluation that I'm sharing with you today, please modify it to suit your own circumstances. This DYOR toolkit is there to help you do your own research, which is also what DYOR stands for, do your own research. So the 13 elements we're looking at today are as follows. Is the project decentralized within reason? What about security? Does the project have any security issues? Has it suffered any recent security issues? Or is it built on a network that provides maximum security within reason? What about scaling? Does the project suffer from high transaction fees during times of high traffic or during peak times? Then we also look at interoperability. Does the project extend itself across its own boundaries, working with other blockchains? Then we look at the project team. Do they have any public profiles? Do they reach out using public platforms available to them, reaching out to their community, interacting and sharing information with their community? We then look at social media via Twitter. Do they have any Twitter presence and how many followers do they have? We also consider social media via Discord. How big is their community? We are also very much aware that Discord, people can manipulate numbers, but it's just a metric we will look at. What about the age of the project? When was it launched? When was it live? How long has it been operating? And then use cases. Does the project have any use cases? With use cases in the real world as well as infrastructural use cases where other other blockchains can come and build on top of it, and other decentralized apps can build on top of it. And then we look at the tokenomics. Tokens issued at Genesis when the project was launched. How many tokens were issued? What percentage? We also consider tokens in circulation. What is the maximum tokens in circulation at the time you are carrying out your DYOR risk evaluation? What about the maximum tokens available? Does the project have a maximum hard cap? And then finally, we consider the total holdings in the hands of insiders. Insiders are those who are closely linked to the project or those who are closely related to the project, such as advisors, team members, the treasury, and so forth. We consider those insiders. So how do we think Karura is going to fare? Let's find out. On decentralization, we know Karura is built on Kusama. Kusama is a fairly decentralized network. Therefore, Karura will derive its own decentralization based on what Karura is doing, as well as their own efforts where they've got validators who help to secure the network. So based on that alone, we are going to give Karura 5 out of 10, which is 50% of the points available. What about security? We know Kusama is not audited. Why? Because it's for experimentation purposes. Hence, it's not audited. So projects that are launching on Kusama, they're launching at their own risk, but they know what they're getting into. So goes for the investors. If you're investing on any project, including Kusama itself, you are taking a huge risk, but you are also relying on the fact that not many projects are designed the way Polkadot is designed. Therefore, the security is inherent within the architectural structure of Polkadot and Kusama. So on security, we are going to give Karura 2.5 points out of 10, which is 25% of the points available, for the mere reason that we have not had any issues where Karura has been compromised or people have lost money through Karura. If you have come across that, guys, please comment down below and let me know. Whilst you're down there, guys, don't forget to click like and subscribe, as well as hit that notification bell. What about scaling? Again, we know there are quite a lot of dApps that are building on Karura, and those dApps, when they get busier, we don't get any issues with scaling. So at this moment in time, we are going to claim that Karura is capable of scaling within reason. So we are going to give Karura 7.5 points out of 10. What about interoperability? Does Karura work outside its own boundaries? Does it extend itself outside its own boundaries? Yes, it does. In fact, there are so many other projects that are working Karura. For example, there is a project called Remark. It's going to be transferring to Karura or being based on Karura. So we know Karura is attracting other projects, but it also can work with other projects, which is a very good thing. And we know Karura is also built on Kusama. Kusama is designed for interoperability as one of its design principles. So we are going to give Karura 10 out of 10 for that. So any project that is designed for interoperability, we will give it 10 out of 10. What about the project team? On the website, there are only 5 founders, but then if you go to LinkedIn, Akala Foundation, who own the Karura network, they have over 10,000 employees in total. So when you have any number that is over 40, we give maximum points, which is 10 out of 10, 100% of the points available. And then social media via Twitter. Does Karura have any Twitter presence? Yes, they do, and they have over 100k followers on Twitter. So based on that, the scale tells us that we should give 7.5 points out of 10, which is 75% of the points available. What about social media via Discord? Yes, Karura has got some presence via Discord, and they have over 77,000 members on each Discord. Our rating scale says that we should give Karura 75% of the points available, which is 7.5 points out of 10. What about the age of the project? Karura is fairly new. It won a parachain second quarter of last year, and then it launched straight after. So Karura is less than a year old as a project. We are going to give it 2.5 points out of 10, which is 25% of the points available. What about use cases? Yes, Karura has got plenty of use cases. It's got what we classify as infrastructural use cases. Here are some of the examples of project building on Karura, as well as some that are migrating to Karura. So it's got infrastructural use cases as well as use cases via its token. The token symbol KAR. So here are some of the use cases. It's used for liquid staking of KSM, which is the Kusama coin ticker, to get LKSM. So you stake KSM to get LKSM, which is liquid KSM, to earn rewards without sacrificing liquidity. You also can get collateralized loans using LKSM to provide liquidity for additional yield. There is also an automated market maker DEX AAM on Karura. That is another strong use case. And then there is the KUSD, which is the stable coin on Karura. The KAR token, the KAR token, is used to power multi-token or multi-coin gas fee settlements on the Karura network. Then there is node incentivization for those who are helping to secure the network. Then there is the matter of governance. The KAR token is also used for governance. It is also used for algorithmic risk adjustment as well as parallel deployment by projects. So based on that alone, the use cases for Karura, they are relatively strong. Therefore, we are going to give it 75% of the points available, which is 7.5 points out of 10. What about tokenomics? This is where we look at tokens issued at Genesis or project launch, maximum tokens, tokens in circulation, as well as insider holdings. Here is a brief summary of Karura's tokenomics. So the token symbol is KAR, and it runs on the Kusama relay chain. Maximum supply, 100 million, which is a hard cap of 100 million. There will ever be 100 million, but I also understand that it's deflationary. So it's got zero inflation and it's also deflationary. Tokens minted at TGE is 100 million. KAR token distribution, the community is allocated 60.87%. Early bakers, they are allocated 18.33%. General bakers, they are allocated 10.8%. And then the founding team is allocated 10%. For tokens issued at project launch, 30% of the project was allocated to parachain participants, which is 11 million. But out of those 11 million, 3.3 million vested on launch date. Okay. And based on that information, we are going to give Karura 2.5 points out of 10. What about tokens in circulation at the point at which I'm doing this risk evaluation? As of today, Karura has got 29.5 million, which is 29% of the total maximum tokens available, which is good. So we gave Karura 5 points out of 10, which is 50% of the points available. What about maximum tokens available? We've already stated that Karura has got a hard cap of 100 million. Therefore, our scale tells us that if a project has got a hard cap and is between 100 million and 2 billion, we have to give it 5 points out of 10, which is 50% of the points available. What about insider holdings? This is where some very promising projects fall flat. So the aggregate total of insider holdings is coming up to 39%, which is 39 million. Of course, they've got different vesting schedules. Some of the vesting schedules have already come and gone, as you can see, but others are still coming. Therefore, based on the fact that here at Stage5.tv, we consider anything from 0 up to 25 to be reasonable. Anything above 25, alarm bells start ringing. As soon as you go above 30, red flag. We've got to make some serious decisions. And then if you start creeping up towards 50, serious considerations have got to be made. Whether you see the downside, the insiders dumping on you, the retail investor, being a lot bigger than the upside, or the other way around. If you see the upside being larger than the downside of insiders dumping on you, then from our point of view, it is reasonable to proceed and invest. Guys, this is not financial advice. This is myself just sharing my own opinions as far as Karura is concerned. Do your own research. You can try and adopt the risk evaluation tool that I've developed that I'm using from time to time, but use that at your own risk as well. You can tweak it because it's not a one-size-fits-all. And whilst you're down there, guys, don't forget to click like and subscribe as well as hit the notification bell. So we'll come back to insiders token allocation for Karura. It's 39%, which is 39 million, which means our metric tells us that we should give Karura 2.5 points out of 10, which is 25% of the points available. Did that deter us? No, we've got a position in Karura, and we've also been adding to our position during the recent downturn of the markets. So we think Karura is on a massive discount. Now, let's do a rundown of the scores we just given Karura. Decentralization, we gave Karura 5 points out of 10. Security, we gave Karura 2.5 points out of 10. On scaling, we gave Karura 7.5 points out of 10. On interoperability, we gave Karura maximum points 10 out of 10. On project team, we gave Karura 10 out of 10 maximum points. On social media via Twitter, we gave Karura 7.5 points out of 10. On social media via Discord, we gave Karura 7.5 points out of 10. On age of the project, we gave Karura 2.5 points out of 10. On use cases, we gave Karura 7.5 points out of 10. What about tokens issued at Genesis? Tokens issued at project launch, we gave Karura 2.5 points out of 10. Tokens in circulation, we gave Karura 5 points out of 10. Maximum tokens available, Karura has got a hard cap, we gave it 5 points out of 10. Then insider token holdings, we were not happy with the fact that the aggregated holdings of the insiders is coming to around 39%. Therefore, therefore we gave Karura 2.5 points out of 10, which comes out to a mega total of 75 out of 130. Here is our scale that we use to allocate the category of the risk involved. The most riskiest project will score between 0 and 64 out of 130, and we call that a no-go. The next step up is the could go to 0 category, and we score projects between 65 to 89 out of 130. Then the third level from the bottom is potential, so any project with potential will score between 90 and 109 out of 130. And then the ultimate that we are all striving for, which is 110 to 130 out of 130, and we call that category go for it. Yet the risk is relatively minor, is relatively safer, but you still need to take precautions when you're investing in anything digital, anything crypto. Take some cautions, okay, and do your own research. What I'm sharing with you today is not advice or any guidance. You do your own research. This is informational as well as educational purposes. So Karura scored 75 out of 130, which means it falls within the could go to 0 category. And we know majority of the projects we've looked at, they're all falling within the 65 to 89 out of 130, which is could go to 0 category. Now, tell me one project that you think will not go to 0 within cryptocurrency. Once we get to that point, I think this area, this asset class will have evolved into something else, and there will be wide mass adoption. But until then, we still need to take precautions and do our own research. What do you guys think then? Do you think 75 out of 130 is a good reflection and is a fair reflection of what Karura is as a project? My point of view is Karura should be punching very close to Moon River, which is another project that launched at the same time. It's also based on Kusama. Karura, we think it's underperforming at this point in time, but at 75, it means it's got a lot of potential because 75 is slightly higher than some of the scores we got for some blue chip. So Karura is a blue chip in the making as far as you're concerned. And it's for us, it's something that we will relatively say, okay, it could go to 0, but so could Bitcoin, so could Ethereum, so could Moon River, and so forth. So the risk here is real, but it's also relative. And if things start, going on for Karura in the next 2 or 3 quarters, we could actually see Karura skyrocket to levels it's never been to. And it is expected because Karura has got a decent team behind it, very helpful team. I was fortunate enough to interact with one of the team, I think it's Betty Chan, very helpful. Sent an email, within 10 minutes I had my response. I sent my reply and she came back instantly. It was around bridges and trying to move my tokens within the Karura ecosystem. So they are very helpful, okay? They are a helpful team, very decent, and we think Karura has got a lot of potential. There's a long way to go. And at these levels that we're talking about, $1 something, as far as I'm concerned, this is accumulation time. This is the accumulation zone for Karura. Again, guys, do your own research. Don't take what I'm sharing with you today as financial advice of any sort. I'm just sharing with you what I'm doing. I'm adding to my Karura bags, and I've got my own targets that I want to achieve. Crypto is personal. You make personal decisions as well as you setting out, personal goals. Take what you may from what I'm sharing with you today. Make your own decisions and do your own research. Okay, guys, there you have it. Karura, 75 out of 130 could go to 0, but so could most other blue chip projects. As far as you are concerned here at Sage5.tv, it's a go. Karura is ripe for investing in, and we are doing exactly that. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for joining us today, and have a nice one, and see you in the next one. Bye.